Hey, welcome back. It's been a minute. Sorry about that. November just kind of was a rough month. November was rough. But I'm back now, kind of. I'm still really busy, but I am attempting. So here. Um, Last month I finished reading Ashes of the Sun. And so we're going to do a review on it. It's going to be kind of a spoilery review towards the end. So I'll do like a big warning or whatever when we get to the spoilery stuff. And if you would like to stop watching at that point, feel free. This is going to be a little review on Ashes of the Sun. I got this book in, I don't remember which month, but one of the Caffeine and Legends boxes. I don't know which month. So Ashes of the Sun is a first of a series. I don't know how long these books are going to be, but it says one of Burning Blade and Silver Eye, so I'm assuming there will be more to follow in the series. It's about two siblings. What are their names? I don't know. I'm going to say his name's Gear. Geyer. I don't know. Gear. I'm going to go with Gear. I don't know if it's right, but that's what I'm going with. And his sister, Maya. So the two siblings end up on kind of opposing sides of this world. One is like anti-magic. He's not really anti-magic. He's the anti-organization that controls the magic. And then Maya ends up working for that organization. And so like the two of them are at odds with their belief system. And then it's the story of like basically the two of them navigating this world. And there's some very loosely alluded to undercurrent of the war's not over from like their post-apocalyptic war or whatever. So that's like the very vague description of what this book is. And I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how I feel about this book. This book was so confusing for me emotionally and whether or not I liked it. I mean, it's thick. It's a thick boy. Which normally doesn't bother me. I don't avoid books simply because of the length. But this one felt too long. Like up until, so this book's got, it's got like 527 pages. And it wasn't until about maybe page mark 300 or so that I was even vested in this book. The first 200 to 300 pages of this book, I was still trying to decide if I wanted to DNF it. Okay. I'm going to try to not ramble. What I liked about this book. It had a really weird, steampunk kind of vibe about it, which was really cool. Like, it's their world. It's like a post-apocalyptic-ish world. Like, there was a big war that happened several hundred years prior, and so they're existing in this post-war world that was very devastating to their planet and to some of the inhabitants. So it's kind of post-apocalyptic, but it's also very steampunky because they've got magical aspects. Like they have arcane relics that can do magic, but then they also have alchemists that can make badass bombs and stuff. So it was I had a hard time pinning down the type of world, so I just kind of settled with steampunk-ish. And I liked it. I didn't dislike the world. I just had a hard time categorizing it. And the people's hair were wacky colors. They were blue and yellow and purple, and that was just normal. And so that was kind of cool. So the world was very interesting. It was very different. I also liked the type of magic that they used. It was really loosely formulated. So I really don't know what kind of magical system it is yet because he didn't really elaborate. So there's tools that this other race made that allows them to utilize this magic that's in the air. It actually kind of reminded me a lot of the Jedis and their lightsabers, but so there's these arcane objects that you can use magic. Well, the humans can use magic because there's other race that isn't around anymore. Okay, focus. The issues that I had with this book that prevented me from really loving it. The first 300 pages seemed so fetching boring. I struggled. So I usually don't care if the book has an extremely complex and unique vocabulary system. Like I can usually pick up on that stuff pretty quick, but for some reason I struggled with this one. Like there's an entire, where is it? There it is. It's huge. All of this is glossary. And it was so confusing. There was just, I think my biggest issue is the first 200 pages. It just throws all of this vocabulary at you. It's like a 200-page info dump of vocabulary. And I struggled with remembering which word meant what because he used them so quickly and without any preamble. And it was just like, hello, new vocabulary system. And I had like no time to like get used to it. And so I really struggled just getting into the first bit of the book because I didn't know what it was talking about half the time. I kept having to flip back to the back and be like, hey, this, oh wait, no, not that one, this one. Okay, so, and then there's the, okay, and then that thing means okay. Like, he was introducing words, not explaining them first. And so it was just really confusing. The first bit of the book, I really had a hard time just comprehending because there was just too much. And then, like I said, the first like 200 pages of the book just felt like a really big setup info dump. Like, I don't know how he could have changed it and edited it so that it wasn't so long in the beginning, but the first 300 pages, once I got to the like climax of the book and like the rising action, the first half of the book, I don't even remember. It was the longest setup ever and it felt unnecessarily long and it just pulled me out of so much. I don't know. This book was 500 and something pages and I don't think it should have been that long. Because up until about page 300, I didn't give two shits about the characters. I didn't give two shits about the plot. I wasn't even sure there was a plot yet. I struggled. And I don't know if that was just a mixture of the vocabulary thing, but stuff kept happening and I kept waiting for it to matter and it just seemed like it never mattered. It was the longest, like the first half of this book felt like a pre-book. So I really struggled with that. The other thing that bugged me a lot, and this is going to be the stupidest thing, the formatting was so stupid. It drove me insane. So, small spoiler alert, Silvereye and Burning Blade are like the last names, because these people like choose their last names once they come into like adulthood, basically. Their last names reflect who they are. So Burning Blade and Silvereye are the two siblings. Burning Blade, whenever the chapters involving her pop up, there was a blade on fire thing. And then for the other one, for the Silvereye, he had a little mask thing, little Phantom of the Opera thing going on, which was fine. It was super great. Like it worked. It was a very easy way to distinguish which character set I was going to be reading about. And then for no apparent reason, or if there is one I haven't figured it out, halfway through the last half of the book, it changes. Like, so each chapter was one character's point of view. If it started with Maya, it ended with Maya, and then out of freaking nowhere. So then it would start doing this thing where it would have the mask for Gear, and then it would say his name. And then mid-chapter, it would switch, and then it would be like, oh, now we're just going to talk about Maya. And nowhere else in the book did it do this except for like the last 80 to 100 pages, and it drove me insane. And I know that's a really dumb reason to be annoyed, but like pick a format and stick with it. Don't switch halfway through your book how you're going to do your chapters. It irritated me enough because when it first happened, I was like, was this a boo-boo? And it caught me off guard, completely pulled me out of the book. So I almost put this book down. I couldn't decide if I liked it. Couldn't decide if I didn't like it. And then somewhere around like the 400 page mark, all of a sudden it got good. And this is where the spoiler stuff comes in. So if you don't want me to ruin the book, stop here and just know that I was really confused about this book and I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about it. So at some point in the book, you realize that Gear and his little friend, whose name completely escapes me, I have no idea, the slightly suicidal one. Her, at some point it becomes obvious that she's working, and it is explained, that she's working with the, not goblins. Golems? No, not the golems, not goblins. Hang on. Ghouls! It's close. I knew it was a G. So you learn that she's working with the ghouls, and then Gear ends up working with the ghouls, and you're not entirely sure if the ghouls are the bad guys or the good guys, or if just this ghoul is the bad guy. And it took so long to get to the point where the ghouls were revealed that if they had if the author had worked in better subtleties throughout the book that kind of hinted that the ghouls might have been alive still, or had started to foreshadow stuff. It was such a random, out of nowhere plot point that you had no other reaction than to go, yeah, well, what else could he have done? That was the most random thing that it was so random, it was obvious. If that makes any sense at all. Like, I wasn't surprised when the ghouls popped up and she was working with the ghouls, because there was nowhere else for that story to go. I don't know if that made any sense. I feel like he tried to keep the ghouls too much of a secret, and so when they were revealed, I didn't have the aha moment of connecting all of those cool foreshadowing moments together. I just went, oh, now there's ghouls. The last 200 pages, the last 200, 250 pages, all this cool action happened, all of this reveal, all of this really good foreshadowing for what is clearly going to be the conflict in the next book happened, and if the first 300 pages were edited down to be 150, and then the last 200 pages were expanded out to make up what was cut out, I felt like it would have been better. I'm willing to give the second one a shot, I think, because it did end just interesting enough. I don't really know. It ended and I just went, I have no idea what happened. I just don't know. I'm so confused. If the ghouls are still here, where's the big baddie? Because they just want to hide out underground by themselves. And so I feel like the conflict would have to be that the other dudes, they've got to still be around somewhere, right? Because if the ghouls are still existing, unless the next book is focused entirely on where the plague spawn came from, which I'm going to call it right now, came from the Order, and they blamed it on the ghouls as a way to justify the invasion and the war, calling it right now. Unless the entire next book is about that, I feel like the people that fought the ghouls, whatever the hell they were called, the Jedis, either they're still around and the next book is going to be their reveal, and then the ghouls are going to have a thing. Unless that happens, it's got to be about the plague spawn, because there's really no other plot to go off of. I mean, there's the weird thing in Maya's chest, which felt like it had a weird significance with the dude with the spider on the neck. This is the most specific review ever, guys. Welcome to my daily conversations. The thing with the that and the thing. Anyway, there's a weird significance with the plague spawn guy with the spider that came out of his neck with the thing. I don't know. Did you guys like this book? Have you read it? Was it just me? Did I struggle with the vocabulary for a weird reason? I'm not the only one, right? The reviews on Goodreads are great. There's a lot of really good reviews. And so I'm kind of wondering if this is a me problem. I hope it's not just a me problem. I mean, if it is, let me know and I'll try it again. I don't know. I am going to read the next book, because it got just good enough to pull me into the next one. But the next one's got to be freaking amazing, or else I don't know if I can bring myself to get through another behemoth that didn't need to be a behemoth. I felt like his editor could have been just a little bit harsher and made him cut some more of this part out. It was just random. And then at one point cows are there all of a sudden. Nowhere else in the book are cows mentioned. It's all the weird Volpi things. Out of nowhere, he's like, hey, there's cows in the field. And I'm like, there's cows on this planet? I didn't know that there were cows on this planet. I don't know. I just feel like it could have done with one more round of comprehensive editing for the plot to just tighten stuff up just a little bit. And I really don't know Maya's motivation in life, other than just to do what she was told. I feel like her character was just a little flat. It wasn't very developed. Let me know what your guys' thoughts were. This was a really conflicting book for me. I don't know if I liked it or not. I gave it like a 3, I think, stars on Goodreads because I neither liked it nor did I hate it. So I think 3 was the best neutral pick I could find. I'm trying to figure out what to read next. I have no idea. Lightest Object in the Universe, I was told, is a really good one that I should read that one. But then I also got... I got Spellbreaker in one of the last boxes from Caffeine and Legends, and so I kind of want to read this one. My wife freaked out when I pulled this out, so she was way excited to see it. Maybe I'll steal it and read it before she can. I don't know. Tell me what I should read next. My brain's fried, and it's just a puddle of jelly. My ability to make decisions is pretty compromised right now, so someone to just tell me what I should read, please. Anyway, thanks for sticking through that ramble. It was rambly. I had no kind of outline. I definitely needed another cup of tea before I did this. So if you stuck through this point, good for you. You deserve something. You deserve a sticker or something. Anyway, like, subscribe, please comment, and help me choose what I should read. I'll try to do another video soon. There's a lot of things coming in the mail from Caffeine and Legends because I ordered the Christmas thingy. So maybe some of those videos will be coming next. I don't know. I also have no time at all. It's a little disgusting, but I will try to upload another video soon. Okay. I'll see you next time. Thanks for sticking it out, guys. This was weird. Zombie plague things. What the fuck are they called? God, this book. Gotta check the vocabulary again because I don't know. No.